AITA for missing my FIL's funeral after my mill booked my husband first class but me economy? Me F31 and my mill don't have a close relationship. She's civil towards me but can be a bit passive-aggressive at times and we tend to disagree often. Times. We live in a different state. Phil passed away suddenly and Mill told me and my husband to come attend the funeral. She booked our tickets to fly to her state. But the issue started when my husband told me that we couldn't sit together in the plane because his mom had booked him a first-class ticket while I got economy. I was flabbergasted by this. I tried asking him why but he urged me to suck it up. And we'll talk about it later. In that particular moment I felt so much humiliation and contempt. I felt like she was treating me as less than even in her hard times. I decided to not go and just go back home. My husband was shocked by my decision to go home and tried to convince me to just go but I declined. He went alone and I ended up missing the funeral. He was livid, just calling M3 and texting nasty things, calling me petty and spoiled. He said that I should be grateful his mom paid for my ticket to begin with, then said that she doesn't owe me a goddamn thing. I argued about how she could have just booked us both in economy if money was an issue, but he called me pathetic for thinking about it when his dad just died. He said it was cruel what I did and that his mom and family will never forget that I missed the funeral over ridiculous reasons. AITA for going home over this? ETA. One of the reasons I didn't settle for the economy ticket was because I wanted to sit next to my husband and support him. He sobbed the whole ride to the airport and I didn't want to leave his side. I was shocked when he told me we couldn't sit together. And how he said it like he had no issue with it. Info. Where was it that you decided to just go back home? Were you only finding the difference in tickets out at the airport and that's when you decided not to travel? I've never seen a post here be so divided. Absolute masterstroke by Mill. Whatever department of the CIA that is responsible for overthrowing foreign governments that want to bring in universal healthcare, she should be the head of it. This post isn't about seats on a plane. Ash. You Mill won. It was most likely her intention to cause a fight and she won because you didn't go. Now she gets to bash you to everyone for not attending. You didn't support your hubs when he needed it. So now all the nasty things she whispers in his ear while he's there, he's going to agree to You were put into a losing situation either way. The whole thing sucks. Sorry this happened to you. Ash. The seat issue was more important than supporting your husband after the death of his father? You kinda did exactly what she wanted you to do though. She manipulated you. And won. Another course of action would have been for your husband to offer his seat to your roommate. I'm sure they would have accepted. And to sit with you. Him calling you petty is absolutely uncalled for. His mother was petty and he didn't want to give up his free luxury for your comfort and support. You could have also told the mom this. Hey, thank you so much for the seats. But husband had to trade his for one next to me so we could sit together. I'm sure this was a simple oversight on your end. But it all worked out. Single quote. Had y'all had the foresight, and had your husband actually cared, it could have gone this way instead. Info. When you say, go home, do you mean you found out about the seats at the gate right before you boarded the plane? Info. How has your husband handled your relationship with your mill in the past? Because it seems like there is more to the story here that would affect my judgment. I would normally say YTA because you not going didn't affect your mill nearly as much as it affected your husband. But if he hasn't been on your side in this issue in the past, I could see where you got too fed up. Info. Were there any seats empty in first class? It's possible only one was available. Also, why not pay to upgrade? If this was me and my wife, I would either offer her the first-class ticket or offer someone in coach to trade. Ideally someone near her, you in this case. Hell, I'm sure you could probably convince the airline to help if you weren't seeking a refund or anything. NTA in my book. I am also not close to my family at all, so I wouldn't be deep in sorrow and would be thinking clearly. But I am not sure it would matter because my wife always comes first in my book. Yeah, this is complicated. I mean, what your mill did was petty in a way. And I'm sure she's a piece of work. And your hubby definitely shouldn't have said anything awful to you. But he is grieving. And I'm assuming this is all fairly recent. So his emotions are all over the place. Usually, this would be a clean-cut situation for, say, a family reunion, a wedding, or a visit. But his father died. I'm not saying you are in awe, but I don't think this was the fight to have picked. I would have offered my 1RST class ticket to the person sitting next to you in trade. I'd rather be uncomfortable next to my wife instead of feeling guilty in 1RST class. Ash. Well played, Mill. Unfortunately, the one who looks bad to everyone is you. I'm going to go with Ash. Your Mill booking your husband a first-class ticket and putting you in economy is low. But you should have gone. It was your husband's father who died. At the least, you should have been there to support him. Info. What is the history leading up to this incident? Wow. I don't even know what to say. I mean, you got done dirty. Absolutely. But I think I also would have sucked it up and rode economy anyway if for nothing else. To support your grieving husband throughout the funeral plus everything else. That said, yeah, your relationship with Mill was toast the moment she so bizarrely connivingly bought you both these tickets. But then, now it's even worse because you didn't go at all. Would it have been better to just tell others that you? Wow. Yeah. I'm typing this out and I still have no idea what to say. No vote. Ash. Mill for absolutely being toxic. Husband for being so grief-stricken he cried all the way to the airport, yet siding with his mom and telling her to suck it up. Op for choosing that moment to die on that hill. A discussion for after the funeral to be sure, but in that moment absolutely a jerk move to leave her husband alone. That said, I do wonder how many times variations on this scenario. Mill treated her poorly. Hubby sided with mom. Has already played out, and if Op just reached her limit in that moment. If that's the case though, this relationship needs counseling. Stat. Info. When did your husband know about the situation? Was he willing to give up his first-class seat? What is some of the past passive-aggressive behavior and how did your husband handle it? I think the backstory is going to add a lot of my judgment. I think it's a pretty reasonable Ash. But you've made a tactical error. If you went and supported your husband, you could later be the good wife who is concerned about why your Mill did that. You were the mistreated one. It definitely was a hostile thing to do to you. But now your husband is mad and grieving and you're the wife who skipped her FIL's funeral. You look like a person who deserves dislike from her Mill. You were the victim of drama and you made it worse.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.